guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Grinch Book Tag. This was originally created by Thoughts on Tomes, so I'm going to go ahead and link the original video down below, so definitely go check out her video. I really love the questions in this tag, so I'm really excited to do it. There are 10 questions, so let's get started. Question number 1. Half the lights on the Christmas tree are burnt out. Name a book, series, or character that started out good but then went downhill. For this, I'm going with The Mage from Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is kind of a spin-off fan fiction of Harry Potter, and the mage is supposed to represent Dumbledore. So Dumbledore is really an important character in Harry Potter. At first I really liked him because I thought he was going to be similar to Dumbledore, and I was liking his character, but as I was reading the story, his character really kind of went downhill for me, which was really good for the book because it gave it its own uniqueness. Question number 2, annoying great Aunt Sally, who will not leave you alone. Name a book that you didn't enjoy but everyone else seems to love so it never goes away. For this, I'm going with 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Even though I haven't really seen this book kind of going around as often as it did when, you know, like all 3 books came out and then the movie came out, I felt like that book never went away, and I tried reading it and I couldn't do it. I ended up putting it down. It's just not a book for me. Question number 3, your pets keep knocking over the Christmas decorations. Name a character that kept messing things up for everyone else. You can't pick a villain. For this question, I'm going with Evie O'Neill from The Diviners by Libba Bray. Evie is quite an interesting character. She is very naive, a little ignorant at times, very immature, and she just tends to she acts before she thinks, and she just ends up making a mess of everything, and that's kind of her throughout the entire story. And even towards the end, when she starts having a little bit of like character growth, she still like reverts back to her own self and just does something completely immature and that she didn't even think about, and yeah, she's just a really naive character and just tends to make a mess of things. Question number 4, you hear your parents putting out the presents and learn Santa isn't real. Name a book you were spoiled for. For this question, I'm going with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. When I first read this book back in high school, my teacher ended up having to go on maternity leave, and so we got a substitute teacher to come in and teach the class for, you know, a few weeks. And for the first few days that she was there, I don't think she realized how far we were in The Great Gatsby, but she completely spoiled the ending for us, which really sucked because I was enjoying that book so much. It's actually one of my favorite books. And it wasn't just the spoiler at the very end of the book that we were spoiled on, but it was like the entire events, like everything that happened when like kind of like the snowball effect, like that one incident, you know what I'm talking about, that kind of like snowballed the entire ending. That's what we were completely spoiled, like the entire like last fourth of the book. And it's apparently I'm still really bitter and frustrated about it. Question number 5, it's freezing outside. Name a character you just couldn't connect with. For this question, I'm going with Albus Potter from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I couldn't connect with Albus Potter. Actually, I couldn't really connect with any of the characters in this book, but Albus Potter the most. He was very immature, very selfish, just I didn't like him at all. And even at the end, when he had a little bit of like character growth, I still couldn't connect with him. The best scenes in this book was when Albus Potter wasn't in them, and there were very few of those. Question number 6, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it's giving you anti-romantic feelings. Name a couple you couldn't stand. For this, I'm going to steal the answer from question 2, and that is Anastasia and Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. I didn't like this book. I put it down, and I didn't like Anastasia and Christian. I didn't like them as individually, and I didn't like them as a couple. I just really didn't like this book at all. Question number 7. That scratchy homemade wool sweater you got for Christmas years ago but won't get rid of. Show some books that have been sitting on your shelves for a while and you aren't motivated to read, but you don't have the heart to get rid of. It's really hard to get rid of books because it's books that I paid for. But I have 2 in particular. The first one is Plus One by Elizabeth Fama or Fama. I got it off of the book outlet. It's hardback, so I really couldn't say no. The story itself really intrigued me, so I ended up getting it, but I haven't picked it up yet. It is a standalone. I've been wanting to read more standalones. I really do want to pick it up one day, so I don't want to get rid of it. Plus, it's a hardback and it's so pretty, so I really love it. I don't want to get rid of it, but I haven't been motivated to read it. Next, I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I bought this series over a year ago, and I had been really wanting to pick it up, but I never do. It's gonna be a commitment. I mean, these books are massive. I don't have the heart to get rid of it because I really want to read this story because I hear it's amazing, but like I said, it's gonna be really a commitment, so I need to start it when I am properly motivated to do so. Question number 8. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Name a character's death you still are mad about. Warn people for spoilers. You can also use TV or movie deaths. So I have 2 for this question. The first one is going to be a character out of Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, and the second one is going to be a character out of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So I am going to put spoiler down below. So if you haven't read this series, not just the first book, but if you haven't read the complete series, then I highly recommend to press mute. Okay, so let's start with Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I am really upset with Sirius Black's death. I still cannot get over it. He is one of my favorite characters. The reason I'm so upset that he died is because we didn't get so many books with him. At least when Dumbledore died, we've had Dumbledore as a character since book 1, and he, died in book 6. So we had so many books with Dumbledore, but with Sirius, we got introduced to him in book 3, but we really didn't know about his character until the end of book 3, and then he came in and out of the Goblet of Fire, and then he was in the Order of the Phoenix. So really we got like a book and a half with him. Maybe 2 books. Okay, so let's now discuss The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Finnick Odair. Yeah, I'm so sad he died. Finnick's death was to me like the true heartbreak in The Hunger Games, and I wish that he hadn't have died in Mockingjay. Part of me was kind of hoping that he wouldn't have died in the movie. I was kind of hoping that the movie producer, the director, would have decided to go a different way, just like many directors have with book to movie adaptations. So part of me was kind of hoping that maybe Finnick wouldn't have died. Question number 9. The malls are overly crowded with holiday shoppers. Name a series that has too many books in it or went on for too long. I know I have mentioned this series in the past, and I need to just look up how many books are in this series, but that is the House of Night series by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. There are so many books in this series. I think I read up to like book 4 or 5, and then I just stopped because I think there's like 13 or 14 books. But to me, that's just too many books in a series. And last question, question 10, The Grinch. Name a character that you hate, and this cannot be a villain. For this, I'm going with A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, if you have not read A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, then I highly recommend muting. I will write spoiler across the screen again because there is quite a character change. Like one of the main characters in this book has quite a character change in A Court of Mist and Fury that makes me really dislike this character a lot. I have to say that after reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, I really liked Tamlin, but then A Court of Mist and Fury came out, and I have to say that I do not like Tamlin at all. Alright guys, well that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This video has been out for a while now. I think it was created like last year, so I'm not going to tag anyone because I'm not sure who has or hasn't done it since it's been over a year ago. I really like the questions. I feel like they're really unique. It was actually hard to come up with some answers for this one. The fact that you couldn't use like villains for questions kind of made it a tricky and unique tag, so I highly recommend doing it if you haven't. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next time in another video. Bye!